Welcome back, Timeline. I'm your host, Tanya, and this is the most interesting people on my timeline, a series and archive dedicated to exploring the digital space and how it affects the lives and work of my most interesting online friends. If you're new here, welcome to the Timeline. On this podcast, we talk about social media, fandoms, internet culture, but most importantly, we talk about it with interesting people in various fields who I've had the pleasure of engaging with online and IRL. This is an immigrant-led podcast, and even though this season I've talked a lot about horror as a genre, there are very real horrors happening to our immigrant community. So I urge y'all to educate yourselves and find ways to uplift and protect our community. In the description box, I've linked a couple of GoFundMes for families whose loved ones have been taken, as well as resources and links to immigrant orgs that are doing amazing work. Make sure to support immigrants, our families, and our art today and every day. Thank you for joining us for the finale episode of our Summerween season. If you don't know what Summerween is, it is the practice of celebrating Halloween in the summer, hence Summerween. And it is fully not Summerween anymore. It is fully Halloween, but it just means that we are wrapping up our season during its intended time. Really, truly on time. I hope this season has inspired your Scorpio season activities and you're about to get more inspiration from today's guest. Today, we're featuring filmmaker and professional fangirl Naya Butler. As always, you can listen to all episodes anywhere you get your podcast, as well as watch a visual version on Spotify and YouTube. You can also find all show notes and links in the description box of whatever platform you're listening on or at tanyadoes.com/interesting people. Welcome to this episode of the most interesting people on my timeline. Let me introduce you to Naya.
Hi, my name is Naya Butler. As of now, I am currently an administrative assistant at Focus Features, but I guess on the side, I am also a writer, director, producer, and I guess other things about me that I identify with. I'm a big advocate for mental health and discovering who you are and discovering your identity and really becoming one with your culture and your background and just understanding what makes you you. So that's one thing that I'm really passionate about. And I try to work with a lot of people that are equally as passionate about that as well, so that we can combine our amazing brains into something even more amazing.
And, fun fact for the listeners, we also met online.
Yes, we did. We did.
Which was
Yes.
like, I think it was like through Discord of some like
I
academy
think
workshop.
so. I think it was like a LinkedIn group or something, and we joined it, and you were in your senior year of college, I think.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if you reached out or if I reached out to you, and I was like, something happened, and we ended up working together. And I was like your virtual PA for your senior thesis. And that was like my first time doing anything for anything. So yeah, love that.
And
Thank
I'll link
you.
that so people can see it. It was like COVID times. I was like, you know what? Everything will be virtual. Let's see how it goes.
It
So
worked out.
I'm glad it worked out. And now we're here.
Yes, we're here.
And now I'm working on your film. So
Yes,
we'll talk about it.
yes, you're working on my phone.
Mhm. And so could you walk us through like your time online? I know like kind of like me, like you grew up online
Yes.
and it kind of led you to where you are now. So could you give us a little overview of your online history?
Oh gosh. I don't even know where to start with this. I would say that my online history began because my mom gave me unsupervised access to the internet. And I asked her about this like a few months ago, like, why did she do that? And she was like, I wanted to be the cool mom. So I was like, okay. But I started online. I think I discovered this website called Bebo. That was the first website that I was really on. And it was very similar to MySpace, but the crowd was a lot younger, like preteen probably. Um, and so it was like a playground on there. It got shut down probably like 10 years ago, I think. I could be wrong. But yeah, loved Bebo. And then from Bebo, I went to MySpace. Didn't love it as much. I don't know why. So I was like, let me go to Tumblr. That was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, game changer.
Um, it was a game changer. My brain chemistry, it changed on there. I got on Tumblr and I discovered what was the first thing I found? I think it was Doctor Who was the first thing I found. And I wasn't really like super into Doctor Who, but I was like, I love how it has such a big community of like-minded people on here who you can say literally anything and someone will know what you're saying and they will easily just pick up the conversation and you'll just become friends. And I love that. Um, so I kind of like started looking for my own community that I felt comfortable in, and I discovered the supernatural community. Um, I soon discovered The Walking Dead after that because they were kind of on at the same time, and that began my standing phase, um, which is I don't want to say I'm embarrassed of it, but it was a time. Um, but I began standing and loved The Walking Dead Supernatural. I soon moved on to Game of Thrones. I soon moved from Tumblr to Twitter, which is, I'm sure, if you are familiar with the Twitter stan space, it is very, very I don't want to say toxic, but it can be toxic. Um, yeah, I met a lot of crazy people on there. Not very proud of a lot of things that I said when I was defending my favorite characters, um, but it
Real,
was in
real.
good faith.
And
It was
you
in
know
good
what?
faith.
And you know what? We'll talk about Stan Twitter a little
Yeah,
later
we
as
need to
like
talk about that.
an era.
Yes, it was a
But
lot.
yeah, and I was gonna say like a lot of fan culture like really leads to like creative people. Like they're the best people to be in
Yep,
because you know what the audience wants, like
yep.
honestly. And you were also, I mean, when we talked before, you also mentioned like Wattpad, AO3, YouTube
Oh
was
my
a
God,
big thing
yes.
you were on.
Yes, thank you for like bringing that back to my attention because
Yeah.
that is a big part. Um, I started, oh God, I think Tumblr introduced me to fanfic because I would see like the little, what were they called when people would post like random snippets of like a like fanfic that they just wrote and put on Tumblr. I don't remember, it was like a blurb or something. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
but
like I remember that. I don't know what they were called, but I'm like, oh wait,
yeah.
yes, I also need to continue reading this.
Yeah, it was like that. Maybe it was like a snippet or a sneak peek into the different chapters. But I would come across those on Tumblr and they would always link out to Wattpad. So I soon discovered Wattpad. And oh my God, I loved it so much, guys. Um, I started Oh my God, this is gonna get bad. I started with Supernatural and I loved Dean. I read all of the Dean fanfics. And then from Supernatural, I went to The Walking Dead. Obviously, I did. Um, and I read all of the Rick and Michonne fanfics. I loved it so much. It's just something about a found family, going through the apocalypse, scavenging for food together, killing zombies together that really just spoke to me. I really liked it. It was such a great dynamic. I miss them a lot.
Mhm.
Um,
I was like, you know what? I haven't, and this is a crime. I have not seen Walking Dead. As an Atlanta girl, I should have been seeing The Walking Dead.
no, okay,
Here's the thing.
okay.
I'm not a zombie
I
girl.
see. I get it. I get it. But The Walking Dead, it is the zombies don't even make the show. It's the characters.
Okay, okay.
Because it goes through like um just the evolution of humanity and the way that you interact with people and everything. And you kind of see how people's like mind changes due to like different traumas that they go through and whatnot. And I try to watch The Walking Dead every few years as I get older because I'm like, there are nuances that I'm not picking up on or that I didn't pick up on when I was younger that I am picking up on right now. Even though it's not like five-star television, don't I hope AMC isn't watching this or isn't gonna watch this, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you know what? I do need to get into it because again, I think we mentioned this before too, like horror as a genre too, like in general. I wasn't
Yeah.
into it until later on. I'm like, oh, like you picked
Yes,
up everything.
me
So
too.
maybe that's just gonna be my relationship with zombies
Yes,
lately.
that's how it is for me too. Um, but I guess let me round out the fanfic topic from The Walking Dead and Rick and Michonne. Um, I I discovered, like I said, Game of Thrones. So I was reading all of oh my God, do I want to say this?
If it's a path that I think you're going down, you know what? Just say it. Let's say it. Safe space.
Jon and Daenerys.
Oh, that's controversial. Controversial, but I can't say I'm completely opposed to it, to
I
be.
know it's controversial, but guys, they had good chemistry.
And you know what that's the thing they did, which is why, and if you
Yeah,
haven't seen Game of Thrones, like guys get on it, but like spoiler,
yes.
like once they that reveal of like they're like kind of related, and I was gagged.
I
I was
was
distraught.
gagged.
I was distraught. It was really testing my limits of like, can I look past it? Honestly though,
And I'll be honest, guys, I kind of looked past it.
and I did, which is why the ending of that show was so
It
devastating.
was really sad and upsetting too.
But yeah, if you guys haven't watched Game of Thrones, get on
Yeah,
it.
you should watch Game of Thrones 100%. But from Game of Thrones, I went to, ooh, oh gosh, The Handmaid's Tale. Um, and it's not crazy, guys, I swear. What I was reading for The Handmaid's Tale was not what you were thinking. I was reading June and Nick fanfics, okay? And did you watch The Handmaid's Tale, Tanya?
I've only
Have
seen
you?
like like the beginning. I haven't kept up with it to be honest.
Okay, that's fine. Um, June was like the main handmaid in the show, and Nick is like the security guard. I can't remember what his actual character is called, but he's like the guy that lives in the home with June and Serena and that other man. Um, and they developed a romance and they got together and it was a great relationship and I rooted for them all the time and I couldn't get enough of them. So I was like, I need to see more. And so I read more, a lot more. Yeah. Um, after that,
Yeah, because you know what? The showrunners can only do so much.
it there's only so much that they can do on television, you know? So I was like, I gotta go to the fans. I gotta go to the girlies for this. And they satiated me. I was satisfied. Um, or was that the right word?
Yeah, you was
Yes.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But after that, I went to Harry Styles. Um, oh gosh.
Did you were you it was like One Direction Harry Styles or was it just to Harry Styles?
I think I got into One Direction in 2015, right before they broke up. And so I kind of read the One Direction fanfics, but I didn't really love them because I was like, there are too many mistakes in these stories. Like, guys, the grammar, the punctuation, I can't do it. So I was like, let me go to Harry's fanfics and see what's cooking over there. They were cooking, were cooking.
So you see, I was like a follower, like I knew there was like the Larry sh Notorious ship was Larry.
Yeah, that.
What were the ships with Harry specific on the Harry side?
There weren't really many romantic ships, to be honest, because a lot of people, or like at least in the Harry fanfic, the fans are against making fanfics with him and his like real life partners, in my opinion. So a lot of them were fake MCs or main characters. And then the platonic ships would be like Liam, Louis, Zayn, Niall, um, and then like friends that the fans just know that aren't in the public eye. But yeah, it was those stories. There was one called Devil's Due. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I don't think I have, but I'm intrigued by the title alone.
There was one called Devil's Due that oh, oh my God. I really wish that it could, oh my God. That is a fanfic that I hope gets turned into something. I will be there front and center, show, movie, I don't care. It is about Harry as a tattoo artist, and he owns a tattoo parlor called Devil's Due. And he one day the MC comes in, I can't remember her name. But one day she comes in and she's with her friends, and her friends are getting a tattoo and they're trying to pressure her to get a tattoo. And she's like, guys, I don't know if I want to get the tattoo. Like, I'm a little scared. Like, oh, like, I get it, girl. I get it. And so Harry was like, girl, don't worry. Come back after hours. I'll give you a private tattoo where no one's looking. He was like, you'll be really comfortable, really safe with me. Don't worry.
Yeah,
And so I was like, yes, yes, yes.
See, and I love this, again, and maybe, I mean, I'm sure if people are listening to podcasts, they know what Wattpad AO3 is, but if you don't,
Mhm.
that's where like a lot of fan fiction happen. Again, just people creating based on this IP, right? But
It's amazing.
it's amazing. And ultimately, this led you to kind of be in this filmmaking space.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So, can you talk about like your career trajectory coming out of that, like out of fan
Of course.
culture?
Of course. I guess so. I think once I got into like Twitter and I got more into the actual like film and TV space, and I guess I don't want to say more serious TV shows and films, but they were slightly more serious. Um, and I started learning more about the different events that happened around the country with these different things. I kind of like started taking more awareness to what was happening, and but I was still a little apprehensive to, I guess, studying it in school. So I decided to go into school with a biology major because in my head I was like, oh, I love Grey's Anatomy. I want to be a neurosurgeon. Derek Shepherd, love you. Um, RIP for real.
And I relate to that. I also had my surgeon phase.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone. I feel like a lot of people did. So I was like, I need to do this. I went into school for biology. And while I was in school, me and my mom were still like going to different events. Every year we would go to San Diego Comic Con. Loved Comic Con so much. I really wish that we still went, but it is just expensive. But we would go, we would nerd out on all the different movies and comic books and whatnot. And we started meeting people who worked in the industry while we were there. And for some reason, before I met these people, it didn't occur to me that like I could actually work in this. For some reason, I was like, okay, this is just really, really unattainable. There's like, I'm from Louisiana. I'm a Black woman from Louisiana with no connections to anyone. I come from a family full of nurses. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna ever get into this. At Comic-Con, I meet I think a cinematographer. And he was like, oh, like, are you interested in this? And I was like, yeah, it's really, really cool, like what you guys do and how it comes out and everything. And he was like, would you pursue this as a career? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. And he was like, anything is possible. And I was like, you're right. You're right. And so that stuck with me. Even though I didn't immediately pursue film, it just stuck with me when he was like, anything is possible. Um, COVID came around. I realized I don't really like medicine that much to pursue it full time as a career. And it was also just really, really stressful with everything being virtual and having to keep up with the workloads and whatnot. So I made the decision to switch to film because I was like, okay, I love this already by itself outside of like my I guess academic pursuits or whatever. I was like, why not try to combine these things because my whole being is consumed by pop culture and media and everything. Why not just go all in? So I did. And I will be honest, I'm a very, very anxious person that overthinks a lot. And so when I started, when I switched my major, I realized that like it's not easy getting a job. It really, really became apparent to me. And, and I was like, okay, I need to like put in the work to make sure that I can get to where I want to be in some way. So I literally started applying to every single internship you could think of online within my first semester of switching to film. I think I applied to like 50, no, 500 internships at one point for stuff that I wasn't even like interested in. I was just like, I want to at least just get one hit from something. Um, and I didn't. The first hit that I got came from the Nashville Film Festival, and it was an unpaid internship. They were like, "You can be with us for as long as you want." Um, they were like, "All you gotta do is research for us for our competition, and you were good." I did that for about a few months, and then I think probably I'm forgetting the timeline a little bit, but maybe 6 months into it, I was like, okay, let me start applying for other stuff and see what might come up. Um, and so I went back to applying to literally everything you could think of because I was like, okay, I have this on my resume now. I should at least get some one hit. Um, and so the next hit or offer that I got was from Warner Bros. In their alternative TV production studio. And that was really interesting because it was my first time working in unscripted TV, which is alternative TV. It was really a completely different world from scripted, to be honest. But I entered when they were working on the Friends reunion that came out on HBO Max a few years ago. And so that team, they did a lot of set visits, they did a lot of calls with producers and uh, just cast, agencies, vendors, anyone that you can think of. There were a lot of documents. And even though it was kind of tedious at times, I still really liked it because I was like, I'm in the midst of what I want to do. I want to make things and know how to organize this to do it myself in the future. So I was like, I'm fine with this. Um, when the internship ended, I went back to the drawing board and I was like, okay, let me see what else I can find. Because in my head, I was like, if I don't have anything, this is the end of the world. So I was like, I'm on go mode right now. I need to keep pushing. And so I think my next internship ended up being um, with the Producers Guild of America, I think. And I found that one through my school's job. No, I found that one through entertainmentcareers.com, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it is a hub of entertainment jobs. It's a good place to go just to see all of the jobs that are listed every single day. Applying directly from that website may not be super helpful, but it at least shows you what is out there. Um, but luckily for me, the Producers Guild posted their internship solely to entertainment careers, and I think they still do that. That's a note. I think they still do that. And I applied. They got back to me within a day. They're like, "Hey, Naya, we're really interested in meeting you." Um, I got on a call with them probably a day later, and they kind of just asked me, "Is this something you want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to make movies." I was like, "I don't have a lot of experience, but I want to gain experience. I think that this is the best way that I can gain experience. Please let me in." Um, and they were like, of course, another thing that I will say is that when I was applying for internships, it was peak COVID times when a lot of people didn't realize that like they could get these internships virtually. Because in the past they were still in person solely. And I remember talking to recruiters and asking them like, how is like recruiting going with it being COVID? And they were like, oh, we're not getting a lot of applications, to be honest. So I think a lot of factors played into all of the roles that I got at the time that I did, but I also just persevered. Um, so at the Producers Guild, I got to do a lot of cool stuff with them. One of the main things that I did was vetting their applications. Or vetting producer applications to join the Producers Guild. I also got to help with reviewing credits and making sure that all of the information on the films was right before they sent it off to, I think, post again or whatever, I think. And then also making sure that producers got the P.G.A tag next to their name. That was my job. Really, really fun. I got to do it for Kevin Feige for Spider-Man. What was the second Spider-Man? No Way Home? Far From Home.
I think Far From Home. Yeah.
Far From Home. Yes. I got to do the P.G.A tag for Kevin Feige for that. That was really cool. I was so excited. And then I also got to do it for Don't Worry, Darling when it came out. And then My Policeman came in too at the same time that I was there. So I was like, I'm loving this, guys. Like I'm seeing all the cool stuff.
You
Um,
laid the groundwork to get there.
I history happened once those movies came out. That was
Exactly.
me. So I did that. That was really fun. And once I left that position, um, I ended up going to, I think, NBC as a an alternative production intern, like I was with Warner Bros. It was the exact same job as Warner. Everything was the same, just different content. NBC's entertainment sector, they made like all of the I think NBC has game shows. No, reality shows. Reality. It was reality. And I'm not a big fan of reality. So, except for Love Island. But so I didn't really love it that much. And I decided, okay, I want to try out scripted and see how that is because that is ultimately my passion. So I applied my heart out to everything. Um, at the same time, I also discovered Group Effort Initiative by Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Now, I am aware of everything with them guys, from the wedding to um, It Ends With Us to the Deadpool stuff, the stuff that happened on the Deadpool set, all that stuff. Not important in this conversation. Well, kind of important, but I'm aware. And Group Effort Initiative is basically a company or a nonprofit, I believe, to help minorities get into the entertainment industry or at least just get a foot in the door. So at the time when I joined, Ryan Reynolds was very active in getting and like making stuff and getting people jobs on a set. I think the first movie that he went to GEI to like crew up for was The Adam Project on Netflix. Um, and I believe a few other movies came in the pipeline, but I was in Louisiana. I was still in school, and I was like, I can't commit the time to go travel for these movies. So sadly, I didn't do it. But I mean, whatever. But they still do that now, and they also help people with internships and corporate jobs and anything that you can think of. They will send referrals for you on your behalf. They have workshops, everything. Amazing people. The creators may not be the best, but the people who work there are great. Yeah, once I concluded those internships, I ended up getting another internship. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I kept that in me to keep getting jobs like that, but I did. Um, and my next internship was back at NBC within their TV programming and creative department. Um, and that was really fun because it was a development. So I got to read all the scripts. I got to sit in on like the writers' rooms and everything, the hiring of the writers, opening up the writers' rooms, giving script coverage. It was so fun. I learned the ins and outs of basically making a TV show. And I also got to create a, oh my God,
Bless you.
I felt it coming. Um, Thank you. I got to create a mock TV show for them and pitch it to the network. Um, and if I wasn't an intern, they said that they would have greenlit it. But basically, what the show was, it was a construction site comedy similar to like Parks and Recreation or The Office. And it was following a struggling construction crew who is working under um, the daughter of someone who does not want to own the company and she kind of just wants it to go down and burn and she just doesn't care. So she hires the craziest people to join the team and they go into these people's houses to repair them and it gets crazy. They go into the people's stuff. They start like they find their weed, they start smoking it, they drink all their stuff, they eat all their food. It was a crazy show. But the network loved it. And they were like, if this was real, we'd be making it right now. I was like, amazing, guys. Thank you. Um, but once I finished that internship, I ended up getting an offer to join the NBC Page program because there is no because I applied. um, yeah, I ended up getting an offer to join, but there is a but. Because I was a two-time previous intern at NBC, I had somewhat of a leg up in the application process. And so if you are an alumna of any NBC internship, you automatically get pushed to the final round of the interview process. So you skip everything else. Um, and so I believe that's how I was able to get in because I was so nervous in that interview, guys. Um, I don't know how I did that, but I did. Yay. And so I did the NBC Page program, went through 4 different rotations with the Universal Pictures, Home Entertainment's digital distribution, Universal Content Productions, TV physical production department, um, NBC's entertainment, which is reality, their scripted communications team, which is basically PR and talent relations. And then from there, I went to the early careers team for the Page program. So that was essentially the people who vetted and hired the pages for the program. So I got to see all of the applications coming in. I got to help them like decide what I guess is something they want to pursue and what's something they might want to like, take more time looking at and stuff like that. Um, and so that was really, really insightful because I met a lot of recruiters. I learned a lot about recruiting. Um, and after that, I ended up finishing the Page program. I graduated in February of this year. And finally, we are here now where I am an admin assistant in digital marketing at Focus Features, where I kind of help with a bunch of miscellaneous tasks to, help the team stay afloat.
I completely agree. And now, like, you've kind of learned the ins and outs of
Yeah.
all like the industry, like,
Yes.
and now as like an indie producer and like writer, you're doing your own
I
feature,
am. I am.
which I mean, this is Summerween season. I invited you here
Yes.
because that feature you're developing, it is a horror.
It is horror. Yes.
Could you talk to us about, let's talk about Paradoxical Green Cherry Blossom.
Of course. So this script, this story, this baby, is my second feature film script. My first one was called Precognition. It was a coming of age story, with like time travel and whatnot. But this one was completely different. I was like, I want to get out of the coming of age and the big sci-fi elements, and I was like, I want to do something different, something that challenges me a little bit because I used to be scared of horror, similar to what you said. Um, and so I kind of started that process. I did a lot of research into horror. I forced myself to watch a lot of horror movies. Talk to Me was the first one that I watched, and I loved it from the first second I watched it. Um, anyway, back to the Green Cherry Blossom. It is, I guess the log line is no. It is a story about 2 sisters named Aldi and Vale Hart, and they own a hotel called the Paradoxical Green Cherry Blossom. And the story kind of follows them while they're in the hotel, and one day things just kind of start going awry, and they cannot figure out what is happening at all. They're going into all the rooms, which that is another element in the story. The rooms are a big part of the story and the way that the hotel operates, but I will not reveal that. Um, yes, I will not reveal that. But there are monsters in the rooms. There are monsters and secrets creeping behind all of the different walls, literally behind the walls. Um, and the sisters kind of start investigating all of these different things that are happening in the rooms. And they soon begin to realize that they are not the ones who are in control of this narrative that they're creating with this hotel. They realize that they are kind of like chess pieces in a way bigger game than they were even aware of. And so they're kind of faced with the threat that is controlling them and their entire operation. And they kind of go head to head at the end. It's a big, I don't want to say it's not a scary fight, but it's a not techno, but it feels kind of rock starish in my head a little bit.
It's action
Um,
packed.
it's
Absolutely.
it's action packed. I imagine like a electric guitar, like synth over it. If I could have it my way, which I want it to be my way, it would have like a synth over it, an electric guitar. It would be cool. That fight, it ends up introducing a whole nother set or location to the story that digs a lot more deeper into the backstory of the threat in the hotel. um, and then we kind of make our way to the end and we realize that what we saw at the beginning of the movie is kind of the end, but also not really because things are a little different. And you realize that, as the title says, these characters are kind of stuck in a paradox of sorts. Um, and they just have to figure it out for themselves.
And let me tell you, when I read this script, I literally printed it out because I was like, oh, this
Oh
is
my gosh.
and I'm one of the producers, but we're also working with Mia
Yes, we are.
Upshaw as one of the producers, and Marlon and Carly. And
Yes,
it's an awesome little team based here in LA and Louisiana. Um
yes.
and so like how has that been? And like because I know like filming in Louisiana and like being a Louisiana production is like a really big deal as
Mhm.
well.
Yes. So we just recently shot the proof of concept actually here in LA, and we really want to go back to Louisiana to shoot the feature if we get the chance, just because this story relies heavily on the set, in my opinion. And it makes a big difference in just the tone of the story and how, or maybe actually no, I won't say that. It makes a lot of sense with the tone of the story, and just everything that happens with the characters and whatnot. And so I really want to go back just because me and Mia are from Louisiana, and also Tanya is from the South, so it's like it feels very right for us to try and go back. So that is something we want to do. I really want to shoot at this hotel called the Le Plebeian in New Orleans. I think I'm saying it right. But Orleans is the goal. Um, but yes, I feel like I got sidetracked with that question.
No, like I mean that's the biggest thing. And I think even with like film myself, like I primarily like not even on purpose, but kind of on purpose. Like I primarily work with like Southern filmmakers
Yeah,
and I'm just like and we love LA. I mean, we're here, we're living here.
yeah.
But we got, I think everyone can have a film industry, you guys. Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
absolutely. But
Everyone can do it if you actually like do it. A lot of places just there are people that are actually interested in it, but the communities don't actually come together to start forming this hub, I guess. Um, there are a few cities in the country that have actually formed an actual like filmmaking hub, like say Atlanta, New Jersey, Houston, New Orleans, LA, New York, etc. Yeah.
and I'm a big believer, especially like nowadays, like there can be co-productions within states. Like that's not crazy. Like I don't
Hmm.
think we need to be like, I love LA. I want to be production here. I also love Atlanta. I want there to be production
Like,
there. Like,
let's have production everywhere, guys.
how about we just all film make together, you guys?
Like we don't need to pick and choose, guys. Let's go everywhere. It's not hard.
Exactly. And I
Well, it
mean,
is hard.
it is hard, but it's doable. Like we got to do it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
And I'll also say it's been a big year for Louisiana because like I'm like working with you and Mia and like there's a couple of people like randomly like y'all know each other as well that I knew from other programs that I did.
Yes.
I've been working with a lot of people from Louisiana this year, which has been amazing because it's
Yes.
I mean the South is a creative hub and Louisiana like even more so. So like
The culture is so rich. The people are, you got to go there, guys. You have to go.
and I mean talk about like summer ween vibes. Like Louisiana is just always on that spooky vibe.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
able to go there actually in the spring and I was like it's still like I love it here, you guys. I love
It's it's the spooky vibe is just there all the time, and I think it comes from like the architecture and also just the influences from like Spain and France and everything, especially when you go to New Orleans and you really see how it all comes together in the city because you have well, first of all, you have random horses walking down the street with the police on the horses. You have carriages, you have the streetcar thing that whatever it is, I don't the streetcar, the electric car, whatever it is. Um, you have you have the big cemeteries like where the originals filmed their stuff. Um, it's it is truly like the best place to be, in my opinion. But as someone who was born there, I will say I have to get away for a little bit and then come back with a fresh mind. And that's what I'm really excited about because I miss the food, guys. I miss the people. Yeah. I truly feel like I got sidetracked again just because I started like thinking about home.
No, but I mean, truly, like, especially like wanting to film that feature there, that's why.
Yes.
Like, that is why,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. All of those things go into why I want to be there.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, and is there any like lasting things that you want to say about like the feature? Like what, I mean, we're obviously gonna try to crowdfund a little bit, you guys.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Guys, my brain, there's so much up here. Like this conversation, I love it. Yes, we are trying to crowdfund. That's why we did the proof of concept. Once we finish editing that, we're also going to be doing pickups for the proof of concept just to refine it and make sure everything is in there that we want. And once that's done, we're going to go into post, finish up, polish it, get music in and whatnot. And then we're going to do a crowdfunding campaign. We're going to post it everywhere you can think of: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, on all the whatever crowdfunding campaign or platform we decide to use. Um, that will be blasted everywhere you can think of. And we will try to raise as much money as we can to get the feature made while also submitting it to festivals and showing people and just getting eyes on it. But yeah, we're really excited. We really want this to happen. And we can't wait for more people to see it because, in my opinion, I think that the proof of concept already looks a bit cool without even pickups already. So we'll see.
Yep, the vibes are there, let me tell you guys. But in terms of like, now talking about kind of Summerween
Hmm.
general and like horror. And I want to talk to you specifically about games as well.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yes, yes.
but what the question would be is like, what is your relationship to Summerween? Why do you think that that is such a great mesh of things like summer and scary stuff? And if you have
Mhm.
any favorite Summerween media.
I think that, in my opinion, I think that Summerween is such a good combination, or like Halloween and summer go together so well because summer is a time where like you are just naturally happy. It's the sun, it's just the weather, everything feels right. And for some reason, in my opinion, when I'm really happy, I want to watch something scary. I don't know if it's the adrenaline rush that I get from it or like just having such a unique story in front of me, but it goes together so well. And also, it brings the people together. The summer blockbusters are usually horror, if not big budget franchises. Um, but I guess my favorite like film coming up is, well, the first one is Weapons. Um, I am so excited for Weapons, guys. That new trailer that just came out, I don't know what is happening. Um, the guy's face looked crazy. If you haven't watched the Weapons trailer, you need to watch it. No one knows what the story is. It's just about a classroom of kids who go missing one night, I believe. And the town has to just figure out what caused these kids to go missing. Why are they like, where did they go? What happened? And the content that Warner Bros. Has released for the film has been like the kids running like down the street with their arms like this.
And it's
And it
it's scary.
looks,
Like I saw that and I was like, oh,
I was like, oh, we're back.
yes, we need to
We're
see
back.
this.
Yes. Um, but I went into a deep dive on this because I was like, what is going on? Apparently, it follows like a urban legend or something, and there's like this witch or something, and she possesses children to come and find her. So maybe that's what this is, and the weird like deformed face people that we are seeing in the trailer are also like have something to do with this witch. But I'm sad. Um, I am also really looking forward to the movie Together with Dave Franco and I can't remember the name of the lead actress. I don't think she's been in a lot of stuff. Um,
She was I don't know why I'm forgetting her name, but she was in like Community. That's where I know her from. Allison
yes,
Brie. Allison
yes,
Brie.
yes, 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 yes. Allison Brie, Dave Franco and Allison Brie. The movie's called Together, and I believe it is about a couple that has a one night stand, and they wake up and find that they are fused together. Um, I'm sad, guys. I'm sad. Hello, I need to see how they navigate this.
So yeah, do you have any other media? I know, because here's the thing. You were telling me you were a big gamer girl, and I want to talk about the games, specifically like a lot of horror games that you play.
Yes, yes, yes. Let me pull up my PlayStation app.
Yes. And also, I mean, I will just say you like I think you pitch a lot of stuff in development. And
Mhm.
one of the things you pitched was you're like low key, Last of Us was your idea. Low key.
Okay, so yes, when I did my Warner Bros. Internship, when I interviewed with them, I can't remember what it was. I think they asked me like I think I just mentioned to them, I was like, oh, I really love video games. I was like, I love following the stories because AAA video games we can get to that after this, but I was like, AAA video games are essentially movies, just interactive movies or TV shows. And I was like, one like show that I really, really love is The Last of Us. I was like, this would be the perfect TV show or movie or something just because of the dynamic between this daughter and this man. It's found family. It's in an apocalypse. There's so much in it. And I was like, you guys just need to look at this and see if it's something that you would consider. And I think they were just like, okay, sure. Thanks for letting us know. A year later, The Last of Us is in development. So I don't want to say that I put it on their radar, guys, but
No, we kind of have you to thank for that. Also,
I'm just,
yeah. Yeah, we
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say it's because I subscribe to Vanity Fair. I was like, I don't know, magazine, and I have Pedro Pascal. I don't know if you can see it. Pedro Pascal looking right at me with his little cover.
Period.
Um, so thank you for that.
Of course. Of
Um,
course.
yeah, what are some other games? And like, yeah, we could talk about AAA video games right now.
Of
What is
course.
a AAA game?
Yeah, a video game is basically a high budget video game that is produced and distributed by a major publisher. And say that is basically like the same thing as a movie studio making a blockbuster movie. So I believe Sony makes majority of the AAA video games that you can think of because hello, it's Sony. They have the money. They also make PlayStation. So outside of The Last of Us, one game that I really, really love playing is Resident Evil Village. And this is also a game that I took inspo from for the Paradoxical Dream Cherry Blossom. Um, Resident Evil Village is the, I think, fifth or sixth game in the Resident Evil franchise. Um, and it follows the main character who had been in like the past two games, I believe. And he stumbles upon a like really oh my god, I can't even describe how it happens. He stumbles upon like this weird village, the name village. And there are weird like big like werewolf monster dogs in there. And they're attacking him and he cannot kill them, like they are immune. And you as the player, aka him, you have to like navigate through this like town with all these different curves, all these different monsters and everything. Anyway, that's the first challenge. You make it out of there, you make it into the big castle where you meet, love her, Mrs. Lady Dimitrescu. Love her. She's a baddie. She's a baddie. I never wanted to kill her when I played the game. I would just walk around her and look at her. Um, she is the like biggest villain in the well, not the biggest villain, but she's one of like the villains in the story. And she's the first one that you encounter when you play the game. I'm not gonna go through the whole game. I'm just gonna talk about her. But she is a very, very angry woman. And I love that about her. And she also has these daughters. I can't remember what they're called in the game. Um, but they're just her daughters, and they're kind of like vampires, and they like suck the blood of the main character if you let them touch you. And you kind of like go through a tunnel system in the game, and you encounter a bunch of different monsters, and the character gets his arm cut off, and you have to like fuse it back on, and it's you meet like a robot man who loves making zombies, and it's a crazy game. Resident Evil, I think they're turning it into a franchise if it's not already like a movie franchise.
Yeah, I think there are a couple Resident Evil movies, and I know some of this lore because my cousins used to play it, but they're men, so
Mhm.
I didn't never got the story. They were just killing zombies. So
Yeah,
I loved listening to the actual story recap of this.
yes. But yeah, Resident Evil, that's just like the first part of the game, guys. There are probably like six other villains in the game that you have to defeat, and they are all weird and nasty and disturbing in their own way. Um, but that's the point of Resident Evil. All of the villains are nasty and evil and just disturbing. But another game that I really like is it's this game called Days Gone. Um, and this takes me back to my roots because it's a game. It's an open world zombie video game. Guys, that is my bread and butter. Open world games. I love being able to just drive around in a virtual game and just do whatever I want, like GTA. And that is basically what Days Gone is, but with zombies instead of Los Angeles. Guys, that's so fun. I love it. I regularly play that game just to, relax, wind down, because there are probably like 5,000 different side quests in it. Um, but that's a fun game. You meet some crazy mutated zombies. The next game is The Last of Us Part 2. Okay, so for those of you who don't know The Last of Us lore, do you know it, Tanya?
I know, I've only seen the first season, so this part two, I do not know.
Okay,
But
do
could you
you
give us a little
care?
rundown, spoil it for me, and give us a little rundown?
Okay, okay. The Last of Us is a great franchise, of course, but I love the second game more than the first one. And that's a very controversial opinion because most people hate the second game because of what happens in it. And I'm sure if some of you have watched like the second season of the show, then you understand why people don't like the second game. But basically, also the second season of the show only follows the first third of the game. So there are two more seasons left to go to follow the two other thirds of the game. Um, my favorite part is the second third that follows Abby. Everyone hates Abby. I love complicated women. I love complicated, complex women, and Abby, I love Ellie too, but Abby, she is it. Um, she is a baddie. She is fierce, and I love playing as her in The Last of Us. One part of her story that I really liked was when she went to the hospital, and she went to the basement of the hospital, and she encountered the mega rat or whatever it is, or Rat King. She found the Rat King. Oh, guys, the Rat King is amazing, and I cannot wait to see HBO put that on my television screen. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be insane. Um, that was my favorite part of the game. And if you look up the Rat King on Google right now, you will be like, okay, that is crazy. I cannot wait to see this be put on TV in a high budget TV show. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yes. Okay, I need
Yes,
to see this.
yes. I also just love monsters. So, mhm,
Oh, I was gonna say, and we can talk more about monsters too, but yes, finish up
yes,
with Last
yes,
of Us first.
yes. So that was like my favorite part of the game because I just love running around as her. She meets all of the crazy monsters in the game. She also encounters this group of characters. I love The Last of Us, guys. Sorry, I'm like nerding out right now. She also encounters this group of characters called the Seraphites, and we kind of see the Seraphites a little bit in season 2 of The Last of Us, but it's like towards the end because that's when they're introduced in the game. But the Seraphites are this little bitty community, or a big community actually. And they're people who have adapted to the world that The Last of Us has become, basically. But instead of like putting on zombie skin and everything like they did in The Walking Dead, they instead have learned to fight. So they have arrows, they have hatchets, they have anything you can think of. And the very first second that they are introduced in the game, they are shooting an arrow into Ellie's arm. And I think it happens in the show, maybe. If it doesn't, it's going to be a crazy thing to happen. And that is like the biggest tonal shift in the game when she gets shot because everything pauses and it just slows down. And you as the player are like, what the fuck is going on? Because it's a crazy game. And also The Last of Us, they humanize the NPCs in the game. So it's like they don't have a script that they constantly say. It was like everything that they said was different every single time. So like if you shot an NPC, they would be like, "Oh my God." And then you hear like all the other characters in the background going like, "Oh my God, Paul, are you okay? Like Paul, I'm on the way." And then they run up to him and like try to save him. And so you start to feel bad when like you kill these people in the game. Um, but that made it better in my opinion. Not like in a sadistic way, guys, but just, I'm gonna stop.
The attention to detail in these games
Yes,
is so much better. Which
yes,
again, like hearing you talk about the games is completely different to me. Again, like I grew up with like a brother and like my guy cousins playing these video games, and you don't really get that because they're just like, I'm gonna kill this zombie.
yeah.
So it's great to hear this, and it's kind of relevant. I think like recently, like SAG-AFTRA with like the whole video game, they
Yeah.
teach it that the strike is over and they were able to get some of their demands met too,
Hmm.
because video games like are so like they just are conducive to storytelling and to
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
most of all world building. And when I see a world being built, I'm there.
I'm sad.
I'm there,
I'm
and I love to build a world as well.
oh yes. Oh yes. And I would say that those are like prime summer wing games to play too, just because they will get you into the mood. Like, guys, you gotta just get into the video game hype. Like for real. I could go on and on about it. I'm stopping myself right now.
No, and I think you're right about this. Like, this is the best time to play. Going back to summer being the time you're happiest, because I mean, Halloween, obviously, great vibes,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
but the scare factor is definitely up. So if you're like me,
Yeah.
a little wimp, you need it. Like, I watch the horror movies during the day. I'm gonna play
Yeah.
today. So it's just kind of like it's like a Halloween light, which is better.
Exactly. Exactly. Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I just love that part of it. And I actually need to watch Talk to Me so bad. Like it is the top of my list.
Yes.
I have a running list of things and I'm gonna share it with, whoever's listening too. But like
Hmm.
um first it was Sleepaway Camp and I just watched Sleepaway Camp, which is
Hmm.
crazy. Talk to Me is next.
Oh
I
my gosh.
That is on it's in the queue. So I'm ready to watch that.
I need to know when you watch Talk to Me. I rewatched it maybe a few months ago, maybe, I think. Um, I was like, this is still such a good movie because okay, so when most people talk about Talk to Me, they talk about the probably like two main parts in the story where the practical effects are just all over the place in a good way. Um, and that is why people are so averse to it at times because it's very, very graphic. But me, on the other hand, I'm very desensitized to how graphic stuff is. And instead, I tend to focus more on the story instead. And so, Talk to Me story is very, very, very heavy. And it deals a lot with grief and unresolved grief and the lengths that you will go to try and resolve your grief or work through it or hide it and push it away, or what you will do to people for your own gain, with grief also coming into play and the way that it like warps your mind and whatnot. And I just love seeing that displayed in a young woman of color character. Um, it's such a fresh story. The audience, not the audience, the characters in the movie are our age, basically, which also made it hit a little harder. They're very personable, very relatable. I loved it, but the Filippo brothers, Raka Raka, the directors, they just made a movie called Bring Her Back that came out in theaters. That's another one to watch, guys. I just rewatched that this week, I think. Tens.
And on that note, like they need to follow you on Letterboxd.
They do.
You and my other friend Jameson, y'all two, and y'all are both from Louisiana, by the way. Y'all reviews is like, I'm watching this movie. You reviewed it. I'm gonna watch it. Thank you for your service. Um, so yeah, just follow Naya on Letterboxd for
Oh,
sure.
guys, I Letterbox is my main social media platform. You will not find me on Instagram or Twitter or stuff like that very like often or super active. Letterboxd and Serialized. That's where you will find me. Serialized is the TV version of Letterboxd. And right now I'm watching Atlanta. So you are going to see all of my Atlanta reviews per episode on Serialized. And also my at is by BY Naya, Niye.
And it will be linked in the description for people
Yes,
to
yes,
follow.
yes, yes.
And let's touch on monsters just a little bit. I know we all
Yeah.
like, but let's touch on monsters because
Okay, I got
horror,
time.
because with what you said, like horror, you kind of see like this like exploration of grief or like very heavy topics in like a very physical way.
Yes.
With monsters, the personification, the metaphors of some of the
It's it's a
yes.
completely different story.
Mhm.
The In my opinion, I feel like when monsters come into play in a story, it is not necessarily a way to disguise certain elements of the story, but I feel like it's a way for the writer to put certain elements into the story that they couldn't necessarily do with the main characters because it would just be too on the nose, or it just wouldn't flow right in the progression of the story. But if you introduce a monster that has like all of these, like not necessarily weird elements, but maybe or weird traits, I guess, but maybe you just have to like dig deeper into them. You realize that like these monsters are not really human, but they are humanized, despite being scary and big and terrifying. They represent something either in relation to the character or the world or whatever it may be. The monsters always represent something, and that is why I love them so much, because whether the something is obvious or like very, very subtle, it's still there, and it just takes a lot of digging and just critical thinking maybe to figure out what it is and what they represent, in my opinion.
Yes, because it's and especially with Summerween, because Summerween sometimes or like that deals a lot with murder sometimes. So it's either like humanization of monsters or monsterification of humans or whatever that is. And when people
Yep.
do that, again, critical thinking skills unlocked.
Yep.
Yeah, and also oh well, something that comes to mind that's kind of like that human monster like line is barbarian.
Yet.
Like she's just trying to
Yes.
be a mother. Stop.
Guys, I love Barbarians so much. I just rewatched it, one because of Bill Skarsgård. Um, yes. Bill Skarsgård, so good in that movie, guys. But also the monster. She is a mother. She just wants to care for her children, and they are invading her space. I think there are layers to this story. there's so many layers, and they uncovered those layers in the movie, but there are even more layers in the movie that they did not uncover. Like, who was the first baby? That's my question.
Like, who was the oldest child? Honest,
Who
again,
was the eldest?
she is just a mother. Again, and that brings us to the, like, oh, mother, discourse of motherhood and her, like, again, it's when that monster can unlock that.
She just wanted to feel love. And you literally saw that at the end of the movie when she saved the main character, and then I think she did she kill herself? No, no,
I think she did die at the end
she
though.
did. She did.
Spoilers, you guys remembered.
I think she kind of like self-sacrificed in the name of love, mother's
Yeah.
love. Yes, yes.
Well, anyway, yeah, we do love monsters over here.
Hmm.
Moving on to though, we're wrapping up with our last few segments. So one of those is back in timeline. So could you share an era of the internet or like a personal online era that you are fond of?
Oh God.
And we could go back to Stan Twitter on this.
It's gonna be Stan Twitter.
Walk us
Oh
through, like uh we've talked, I mean, we've been talking about it a little bit, but
yeah,
specifically your Stan
I
Twitter.
know. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, I would say my whole Stan Twitter era is one that I'm fond of. Like I've had bad memories from it, but like overall, I met like a lot of great people over the years that I was on there. Um, I think that my Stan Twitter account, before I left Stan Twitter, it grew to probably 15,000 followers. Um, so oh my God. I think probably Game of Thrones was the most like fondest memory for me, just because it sounds so superficial, but that's when like my following grew the most and I met so many people. Um, because I don't want to say I was the leader of the Jon Snow Defense League, but I was leading the Jon Snow Defense League at one point. I was making sure that I was holding down the fort whenever a new episode came out and everyone was against him. I was with him. Um, and that I'm so fond of that because the tweets that I made, they did get put in articles online. I will not lie. They did.
That's how you know it's good. That's how you know your top tier Stan Twitter. And if people don't know what Stan Twitter it is just super fan Twitter. Think like Club Chalamet, like
Yes.
like if Pop Crave just was just reporting on one person and the person
Yes.
behind Pop Crave was just one person.
Yes, it was oh my God, it was a time. And I really loved my Game of Thrones phase because I met so many people. It was fun. My tweets went everywhere. Like they were on so many different platforms because I just said crazy stuff sometimes. Oh, one other thing I just remembered is when I was a The Walking Dead stan, um, I would regularly get into not fights, but arguments with the the cast online. Um,
Not the cast.
the cast
It's giving
them
when that YouTuber got in a fight with the cast of Riverdale.
was literally that with me. I don't know why I did that. Little did they know they were fighting a 17-year-old girl in Louisiana. Um, but I can't. I think Lori Holden played Andrea on The Walking Dead. I think. And she tweeted something one day. I think she was like defending Johnny Depp. And and I responded to her and I was like, "Oh, this is why your character got killed off of The Walking Dead." And because you have opinions like this and they didn't want to deal with that anymore. And she got so mad. She literally like quoted my tweet, like blasted me to everyone that followed her. I think she like put it on Facebook too. And then she blocked me. And then she posted that she blocked me too. And she's like, this is why I don't deal with people like this online. Like this is so insufferable. Like I hate this. I was like, all right, I'm still
Like,
gonna watch the show.
yeah, and it's like, guys, this is a 17-year-old girl in her bedroom.
Like, guys, I'm a kid. I'm in my bed.
And that's the thing, like people don't realize because I have friends too, and I won't name names, but they also had Stan Tour. They had thousands upon thousands of followers, and it's this anonymous Teenage girl, internet
Yeah,
having the best time of her life.
I was having the best time of my life. I was like, oh my God, these celebrities are talking to me, guys. Like, I need to keep this going.
Yeah, and I just,
I'm
yeah, that anonymity also is just like,
yeah, I'm out of that now, by the way, guys, but it was a time. It was a
just
time.
know if there's an anonymous account that you're arguing with, it's probably a teenage girl
Yes, it's always a teenage girl. Always.
and she's having fun and you're getting mad.
Yeah, and she's sending the screenshots in her group chat to her friends. Just know that.
Mhm.
It's a prank.
An amazing era of the internet.
Yeah.
Our next segment, What's in a Name? Could you tell us about one of like your current or past, screen names and a little of the history behind those?
Oh my God.
I know you mentioned Our
Yeah,
World
yeah.
Girl was
Yes, yes, yes,
before.
yes. Oh my God. That's what I was about to do. Okay, so when I had my unsupervised access to the internet and I was on Bebo and MySpace, I also discovered online gaming. Um, and one game that I really, really loved was this game called Our World. It was like this futuristic game similar to Fantage, if you guys know what that is. Fantage was like a fashion game that you could like interact with a bunch of different people, but Our World was like a futuristic game where like you could like shop at restaurants, buy clothes, go to clubs and everything. I loved it. I was having a grand old time on my computer. Um, but my name on there was Our World Girl 1234. And um I started using that username on everything. I think I ended up making a YouTube channel with that username. And oh my God, this is actually kind of really funny. I think about this now and I laugh. But I was in elementary school when I had that YouTube account. And I remember me and my friends when I made the account, I told my friends and I was like, hey guys, like we should start making content now, like try to, get famous or something. And I remember the cinnamon challenge. Is that what it was called? The cinnamon challenge? That was happening at the time. And I remember telling them, like, guys, we should like do the cinnamon challenge. I don't know, like it's
Or
going
flashbacks.
viral. I was like, we should like do the cinnamon challenge, guys. I don't know, like people will like it. So I did the cinnamon challenge. And my friends did the cinnamon challenge, and we all put it on my YouTube channel. And oh my God, I don't know who tattletaled. Somebody went and told their parent. I got to school the next day. My teacher was like, Naya, are you Our Girl World 1234? I was like,
You're like, how do you
I am not Radio Rebel. Hello. I was like, hello. And she said it in front of the whole class. I was like, why? She was like, did you post the cinnamon challenge last night? I was like, me? The what? She, she pulled up the YouTube channel on like the big like board on the dry erase board in the class. And she was like, is this you, so and so, so and so, and so and so doing the cinnamon challenge? I was like, no,
that's not me.
no, no. She was like, I'm gonna need you to delete this channel right now. So she literally made me delete my YouTube channel in the middle of the class. I reactivated it when I got home, by the way. I just like deleted the videos. Um, but yeah, that's a memorable username for me because Our World and that humiliation ritual, whatever that was.
And that's truly iconic, honestly. YouTube was a great playground.
It was, it was, it was.
That's crazy. I also did get in trouble once on that.
Oh
I was
no.
telling people that this one specific YouTube channel was Vanessa Hudgens and that the email associated with it was Vanessa Hudgens and we should
Oh,
send emails to Vanessa Hudgens and it was not. Somebody's mother got into that email thread and said, that is not to Vanessa Hudgens.
oh
Please
yikes.
read
It's okay. It's okay.
misinformation. I said, anyways,
Okay, whatever.
delete email.
Not my problem.
But that's what the internet was for.
Learning.
Unsupervised time is a great time.
Yeah, yeah. We learned.
Mhm. And so, we like to put other people on in this podcast. So, who are the most interesting people on your timeline?
Ooh, I would say one really interesting person on my timeline is he recently created the art for the Netflix show Forever. And Netflix posted it on their social media everywhere. My friend Isaiah, we went to high school together, and he is now a artist in based in San Francisco, but he is a Netflix partner and makes a lot of like content for them and a bunch of like artwork for their shows. And it's really, really cool, and I just love like seeing people who make art actually be really successful with it, because art, like pure art, like drawing, portraits, painting, it's so hard to get like into it and get your foot in the door with it. And like I'm so proud. I'm so happy that like he's like making it and he's doing what he wanted to do. And I think he like makes music too. So I'm like, this is really cool. I love when his stuff comes up on my timeline, because I'm like, it inspires me to like keep writing or keep pushing towards what I want to do. Um, so yeah.
I love that. I love again, yeah, I also love when people can be successful, especially again with the AI of it all. But
Oh
like
yes.
like when someone's actually putting in the work.
Yes. Oh, and I will tell his username. His username is Isaiah 78, ISAIAH 78TH on Instagram.
Here,
Yes.
immediate follow, immediate follow.
Yes.
Um, is there anything cool, coming up in your future you want to tell us about?
Um, let's see. I guess right now we are planning pickups for the Paradoxical Green Cherry Blossom. So I am beginning, I guess, rewrites for the script and beginning directing prep and whatnot, because I've learned my lesson from last time and I need to start much earlier. Um, so we're starting prep and everything. I'm really excited for that. Um, Really excited to hopefully make some short films in the future. I have a friend who just recently bought a camera. She wants to be a DP. So we're like, let's make something at some point, see what we can do. Um, so I'm excited to just keep pushing and keep making stuff and hopefully make a movie one day, with a bunch of cool people, Tanya included. Yeah.
I'm very excited about these pickups and
Oh,
getting
yes, me too.
getting back into the cherry blossom of it all. It's very
Yes, me too.
exciting. Um,
Yes.
and finally, where can people find you online? Like, where do you want to be found?
Um, so I guess you can find me on Instagram at Naya Janae, Niyajanea. I guess if you want to look at my portfolio, you can look there at nayabutler.com. It feels so weird saying nayabutler.com, but I guess, yeah, you can go there. And then I guess Letterboxd is one that I want people to follow me on. Letterboxd, my at is by Naya, Niya, and then serialized is the same at by Naya. Um, and yeah, you'll mainly find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, or serialized. TikTok, not so much. I just scroll a lot. So yeah,
Hmm. Naya, thank you so much for
of
today.
course.
Are there any lasting words you want to leave the
Um,
timeline, the audience?
I guess if you guys are wanting to make stuff, I would say keep making it. There will be so many ups and downs. I'm not gonna turn this into like a speech or anything, or like a um a sermon, but keep going, keep pushing. There will be many, many ups and downs. If you don't make stuff and you just like consuming content, then please keep going to the theater, keep watching, keep buying tickets, because theaters are dying. Um, that's why everything goes to streaming so fast. No one's making the money now. The streaming companies are taking it. Um, and yeah, I thank you for inviting me to do this, Tanya. Like, Truly, this was amazing. I
Oh,
loved it. And
of course.
Cheyenne loved it too.
We love having you both on here. Actually, another guest also, their cat was on here, so we're having a lot of pets this season, which I love. Thank you for joining us. You truly are one of the most interesting people on my timeline. The
Thank
fact that
you.
literally been like 5 years since we met
It's been
online.
a while, Tanya. Oh my
Um,
gosh.
I'm glad we did. I'm glad we were
Me
able
too.
to a wrap on not just this episode, but this season of the most interesting people on my timeline. Thank you, Timeline, for joining us on this season, exploring the weird and wonderful world of monsters, movies, stories, and how we all ended up celebrating Halloween twice a year. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe wherever you're listening and leave a like or a rating while you're here. As you all know, this podcast is ever evolving, just like our digital world. So be prepared to see some exciting changes in the next season, in which I will engage in a lot of yapping with other fellow yappers, but you'll need to stick around to see what we have in store for the next season. For now, all of Naya's work is linked in the description, and you can head over to tanyadoes.com/Naya for all show notes. Make sure to follow Naya on her work to see everything that she gets into. It's very exciting. Also, make sure to follow me, your host, on Instagram and TikTok at Tanya Does, and subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay up to date on this series. The Most Interesting People on My Timeline is an independent podcast hosted and produced by yours truly, Tanya Dominguez Rangel, with design support from Mayra Sanchez. To support our work, consider joining our membership base at Buy Me a Coffee, and if you've got the big bucks, we are also open to ad slots as well. All of this keeps us going so that we can introduce y'all to more interesting people. Stay connected, stay creating beautiful things, and I will catch y'all in the next season of this podcast.